actually was originally the chairperson of this very society that you're now sitting in, and you can tell because it's gotten a lot better since I left. I was the vice chairperson from 2019 to 2020. Before that, I was the student liaison. So technically, I was the student liaison from the start of 2019 to the midway, and then there was a whole big shake-up. A few people died. It was apparently a revolution. I'm pretty sure Graham installed communism, but you know yourself. And then I became vice chairperson. And then the COVID happened, so I got to do jack shit. But Tiernan's better at this job than me, so you know yourself. I'm also a moderator at the Many Hats Club, which is a Discord server and also a podcast. We'll be talking about that a little bit more later. I was also, as I mentioned, a graduate of the current course that most of you are probably in, of cybersecurity and digital forensics in TU Dublin Blanchardstown. And those there are just pictures of 0 days of me and the boys called the Master Debaters, because we're adults and we do adult things and use adult names. In those pictures is currently Cyber Viking, the person that you previously saw, Alan LeBlanc, and Sean Byrne, and of course myself as the lovely Theresa May, who we all love and miss dearly from the British Parliament. No, to actually act cool, because I'm not a dry shite, and I swear I am actually fun. I play guitar, bass, and mandolin. I play mostly guitar and bass. I was a bassist in a band once upon a time. I play guitar on my own and try romance girls, and they all think I'm scary, and they run away. And I bought the mandolin really drunk when I was with my friend, and I only know how to play one song. I spent 4 years as a bartender. Originally, when I was starting college, I thought, I'll just do bartending. It will help me get along. And then I thought, I'll just do bartending for the rest of my life. And then I realized that's a terrible fucking idea, and you should not do bartending for the rest of your life. Unless that's your thing. You know, I respect that. It's just not my thing. And I've had my uncle have a heart attack being a bartender. So that's a good idea to get the fuck out of that industry. I like to travel. I've been to the United States, Norway, all that sort of stuff. I love traveling. I love seeing new things, because one of the most important things you can ever do in your life, take this for a matter of fact, one of the most important things you can do in your life is fill it with experiences and happiness, and not just always working all the time. And also, as you can kind of tell so far, I talk pure shite and I drink many pints. So, and that's just a few pictures from B-sides, me behind Washington, D.C. If you're wondering, I asked Obama, did he want to come for pints? He said no. So that's why I don't go to America anymore. And then that's just me proof being cool. That guy in the picture no longer talks to me. It was a hard breakup. Anyway, so a brief summary of basically what we're going to talk about. So when I was asked to originally do this talk by Tiernan, I ignored the message first off because I was in bed. But then once I actually looked at the message, I started thinking about what possible talks I could do. And I thought about it like, you're going to be in the society, you're going to see some fantastic talks from Graham and Tiernan and all the rest of them, because they are a genius bunch and they'll help you teach. They'll basically be what this course, what the digital forensics and cybersecurity course is plus. However, there's a thing that you might sort of miss. They'll teach you how to use things, but they won't really. They'll point you in a few places to go. But I found that when I was doing it, I had to do a lot of that work myself. So basically, what I wanted to compile is basically just a massive amount of resources and show where they are, what they look like, kind of give a little bit of a brief run through, so you can get a bit of a running start coming in, and you don't just go into the first day and you're like, "What's the computer? Help." Basically, this is sort of in the idea in my head is that this talk is something I wish somebody told me. Just a quick note. This will be shared. This presentation will be shared in the video that's also being recorded will be shared, so you don't. I don't mind. It's not against the law, unless Boris says so, but that doesn't count here. So I won't be talking about any tools, because that's going to be covered in many a talk that you're going to have with the Hacker Society, because I can say it straight off, you're in very good hands over here. I'm just going to be talking more about the learning resources that you'll be using along the way with these tools to sort of get you from zero to hero. That was cringy. When I'm talking about this is not the definite things that you should use. This isn't going to be your bread and butter. This isn't the only thing that you'll need. Well, a few things maybe. Especially when it comes to any blogs related to cyber biking, but you know yourself. I have spoiler. Oops. Basically, there's bazillions of resources out there, and every one of them is different to one another. There's some resources I don't go look towards because it's not my sort of thing, not my sort of industry, but they are out there, and you should do your best to investigate and find the best thing for you. So, on that note, by the way, Cork is it real and app get moo. I I want to talk about the most important resource you will ever use of your entire college degree, the most important resource you will ever use in your entire life, especially in this industry. And it's a very simple tool. You can get it anywhere. All you need is a notepad, a pen that I didn't steal from conferences, and your bloody brain, right? All you need to do is how to write things down, figure it out, and just do your best, okay? There's also another very important process that you need, and it's very simple. So it's one of the easiest tools you will ever get on the internet, and it is the most important tool to use that you can have, as long as you use it right and know how to use it correctly. That was the same thing twice. It's Google. The most important tool you will ever have in your industry and all of your life when it comes to this industry and when just for college is Google. Know how to Google well and know how to use it proficiently, because this is the thing you're going to be looking at the most. Unless you're like me and you just write in the fucking taskbar, but you know yourself, or whatever, the taskbar, the thingy on the top where you put the words go, ooh, look, internet, thebritsatagain.com. And the other tool that you use a lot is Reddit, because Reddit is filled with a lot of stuff, too much stuff. Oh God, is that a thing I didn't wish I saw? Oh no, the feds are at my door. And the other thing I always use a lot is YouTube, because there's a fuck ton of resources on YouTube, right? Many of you, I'm pretty sure, know YouTube, but if you don't use YouTube, where the fuck have you been? There's a pandemic. Anyway, I was supposed to brief that with we're living under a rock. I just realized, but I've been up for like a few hours, so you can tell I'm a bit nutty at the moment. But yeah, the most important tool you'll ever use is YouTube. There's a fuck ton of resources out there, and it's possibly one of the best tools you can ever have. So your 3 best tools, right? If you got that, put in your head, lock it in there, throw away the key, not being able to open anymore. You've completely forgotten it, but it's locked in there somehow. Figure that one out. So, as I said, Google is your best friend. You're going to be using that a fuck ton. More than you would like to realize. Also, there's other search things like DuckDuckGo or DuckDuckGo, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Bing. Bing is not a fun place. All those lovely little search engines, but Google's the most obvious one, so because we call Googling it, but also, as I said, rabbits are a very good place to find out other information. Good examples of this would be on r/cybersecurity or cryptography, or into cryptography, or NetSec if you're into NetSec stuff. Also, r/Ireland is a fun place because there's a lot of memes in there, and I do love an old meme. So, and as always, I said, there's millions of useful YouTube channels out there. Key examples would be Hackersploit, who usually does a lot of pen test stuff. He does usually a lot of lessons. There's John Hammond, which is also really useful. He does a lot of CTF sort of stuff, and he's ginger. And you can always trust a ginger man, because they can't they're trying to gain back their reputation, and we should support that. There's also the Cyber Mentor. He puts out a lot of stuff. He has a lot of courses online. We'll be talking about that a bit later. And there's also Network Director, which isn't directly cybersecurity, but I wanted to put this in most importantly because he has a lot of stuff on networking stuff that's going to be very important for your first years and second years, possibly some third years. Is going to be very important because he goes into all that stuff you're seeing at the moment with all the networking sort of stuff. He breaks it down into lovely old videos and lovely presentation skills, and it's very intuitive, very interesting, and honestly, it'll be one of the best things you'll ever get. With that, of course, I also forgot to mention there's a fuck ton of good coding stuff, and YouTube is filled to the brim with stuff. And unfortunately, most of that stuff is shit. But you know yourself. Also, Tom Scott's there. He's great crack. There's also some other useful websites. I just want to mention out real quick. Hint, just look at the slide. Get there quick before it's gone because there's only one. The first thing I would always suggest, because I've been using it a lot myself, especially recently on when I'm trying to get back into it, is TryHackMe, which is a tool. It's a learning software that basically takes you through guiding steps of basically how to use particular tools, how to do sort of particular attacks. It costs €10 a month. It has a lot of free features, but its structures of its courses are very beginner friendly. In fact, if it works, it should work there. This is just a basic, I just want to give a basic idea what the overview looks like. So this is kind of just the dashboard. What the hell was that? Did I just leave and come back? I'll take that as a no. So basically you're just your dashboard. So you have your dashboard here, but this is usually the first thing you'll see. That gets show the welcome stuff teaches you some of the beginning stuff like Nmap, Metasploit, Burp Suite, all that sort of stuff. You're also able to do some activities. So it has rooms dedicated to this sort of stuff, or like dedicated to certain things like Learn Linux, give you an idea what Bluekeep is, all that sort of stuff. There's also learning paths. I'm currently doing a learning path at the moment, so it's only going to show the one I'm doing because I'm trying to get everything back into my head. Because revision is one of the most important things you can do. The beginning steps are the most important steps. Basically, just to let you go over everything. If it gives you a whole sort of thing, or gives you a whole sort of rundown, gives you a step-by-step process. Very intuitive, very easy to sort of do, but it doesn't give you too many hints, which is the important thing. It tells you to basically figure it out yourself, but it basically structures that as a course, which is a very brilliant thing. Just to give you an example, I'll click on the first one. I'm not going to do it like any of the stuff, but I'm also not going to set it up. But you're able to gives you a task, and you just put on like, what is this new thing, and it does it throughout that as well. When it comes to the pay features, you get access like being able to use machines. Originally, you could do this with OpenVPN. You could have your own Kali system or Parrot system, whichever you want. Ubuntu system, I don't fucking care, whatever you want. You can set that up, or you could, with the pay version, which is €10 a month. You can have your own. You can use a VM on the machine, so you can just flip back and forth, and usually you can split the screen right down the middle, and you can just do it from that way. Anyway, very, very good tool, and I think it's one of the best things I've seen for me personally, especially in the very beginning, because that's definitely towards all the beginners out there. Definitely a tool I would definitely suggest looking into, and I've mentioned it. It's probably hinted at, but I'm just going to make it obvious now. There's the code in the side, so whoever got it, use it now. Get 3 months, because it's 3 months free there. Take it. I don't care. Merry Christmas. Right. So, besides that, there's another tool there's another website that I would use directly after that. If you got very good at TryHackMe and you got very far into the whole process, I would definitely suggest looking at hackthebox.eu. That's going to be a word you're going to be hearing so much, because Hack the Box is basically just the holy grail, the big thing everybody talks about, the big Lebowski, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's like TryHackMe, except they ain't guiding you along. They're basically, here's a box, here's basically what the idea is, hack into it. So it's more advanced than what it was. There's a lot of boxes inside of it, so you can find a bazillions of challenges in there. There's a lot of retired boxes as well, which is basically boxes that are used, but then eventually they took down, and then people have written walkthroughs, and they just give like, it's basically those sort of boxes are for people who are more in the beginning and they want to sort of just hop into a box and just sort of use a walkthrough and sort of start learning the more of the processes. However, kind of like with TryHackMe, they also have a charge fee of £10 or $10, which is about $8.44 a month. So just give a basic kind of overview. This is what Hack the Box sort of looks like. They have a lot of labs. It kind of looks cool. I'll tell you what, the first time I came into here, I was like, oh my God, that looks so cool. And then I realized, oh my God, I haven't a clue what's going on. But I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really looked around a lot, but from what I can tell, it's very much, as I was saying, it's very much just like sort of figure it out on your own. The best person to ask this about this sort of stuff is probably Spectre, who'd be on side the server. He'd be sort of the best people to ask. There's a lot of labs like Access Labs. You can tell I haven't looked at this at all because I don't use this at all. But yeah, so I'm not going to embarrass myself having a fucking clue about Hack the Box. I prefer TryHackMe, but it's my step up. Basically, I kind of put in the way that TryHackMe is the way to teach you how to use Hack the Box, and you use Hack the Box to sort of get really like just in your element. However, one note I will put into it: actual pen test engagements are not a lot. It's similar to Hack the Box, but it ain't the bread and butter. Or it ain't the exact replica. So keep wary in mind. It's a great tool, but she ain't exactly fucking picture perfect. The next thing I talk about is Udemy, whichever way you want to call it. You know, call it whatever you care, as long as the message comes across. Udemy is basically what I would consider course galore. Millions of people decide to post their courses. It's like YouTube, except it has a structure for all the courses. My only gripe with Udemy is there's a lot of stolen content out there, so you got to be very wary who you're giving stuff out to. People I would suggest actually looking at would be our own Cyber Viking, because if I don't mention his name every 3 minutes, he'll appear outside my back door and try to beat the shit out of me because he knows where I live. That's an interesting story. I'll let him tell at the end if he's still here. In very delicate details. He's laughing now. I'll give him a sec. He better be fucking laughing. Yeah, and also along that, I'd mentioned Cyber Mentor, because he has like his hacking courses, his ethical pen testing courses, which are really good. And just sort of to give an idea, this is the Udemy course. I have my own Udemy account, of course. course, because I have accounts everywhere. OBSEC, no thanks. Basically, there's like a fuck ton of courses, but the one I was talking about, I believe, is his practical pen test course, which I'm not going to go into right now because I was doing it, but I haven't done much of it. Do not play because, lawsuits. Basically goes through, sets them up in sections. All the courses are like this, sets them up in sections. You can go through his exploitation, all this exploit stuff. There's a lot of different courses. There's ones for coding. There's one for like SQL injections, all that sort of stuff. However, be careful when you have a few of them because some of them get taken down. If you take one, there'll be like a free code because usually free codes go out for courses. Sometimes it'll come down and you'll try clicking it about a year later and you'll find it's gone, which is great crack, and I enjoy that so much. Thanks, developers. Also because I said I would. It's not here anymore. However, there might be a thing that I'm not allowed to talk about, but let him decide one day when he decides you. One day you will know, and when you know, is he'll be standing over your bed with a bat being all like, it's learning time. Anyway, you can tell I didn't do his course. He's going to be so mad. Anyway, the next thing I would definitely suggest would be a thing that I've actually honestly haven't used yet, but I've seen a lot of good things, would be from portswigger.com, which is a web security academy. Basically, what it does is it has a burp suite. You can tell I was with Beat Swept, but Beat Swept. Beat Swept. It basically is a burp suite training course, which basically it goes through all the OWASP top 10 sort of attacks. Don't fight me on that because I'm not exactly sure if it's the OWASP top 10, but I do believe there's a good few of them there. But it goes through basically your most common attacks, unless you be able to see them in the OWASP. I'll just bring it up right here because I loaded them and I'm cool. But yeah, that's definitely not the OWASP top 10, Sean. You're doing it wrong. Do you even know cybersecurity? So like host header attacks, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, CSFR, all your fun stuff that you love seeing on a Friday morning. Basically, let you go through all that, sort of give you an idea what it is, and it'll get you very well in tune with Burp Suite, which is something I would definitely recommend. It's one of those tools that you want to know a lot. I know I said I wouldn't talk much about tools, but like tools are probably your best bet, especially on the pen testing side, and sometimes on the testing side. So it's going to be handy on both sides of the teams, both sides of the walls, fence, whatever, aisle. Fuck, I don't know. Just some other general things as well that sort of is very useful, especially because you're going to be doing a lot of coding in Java and Python. Your best friend will be 1, Google, and 2, Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is why I've got my thesis. No, it's not, but I want to say that. It's kind of a bit, but like, because I'm a great computer man. Haha, what's a computer? But Stack Overflow, honestly, is a brilliant tool. If there be sometimes you'd be looking for something and you don't know exactly what it is, you look on Stack Overflow and you'll find an amazing example that is too overly complicated and you think you're shit. Then you scroll down and there's an actual, oh yeah, no, this is what this is. And you're like, grand. Thanks for being a cunt, Mr. Top Guy. First curse. Probably 8th. There's also, from my personal experience, when it came to like learning, like, I'm not going to the Stack Overflow because, yeah, you only get one. Solo Learn, which is an app that I used very early in when I was learning how to code, especially in first year and second year, one of the times when I was paying attention. Solo Learn is just a great app. It kind of gives you a run through of how basically everything works, especially with a lot of different coding. Basically, it provides multiple different language like lessons like SQL, Java, Python, HTML, CSS, Squirtle, all the sort of fun, Ruby. Which is a great Pokemon game. Not the best, but it's one of the good ones. I really hope people can actually hear me and I'm not just talking shite again. Where is it? My Solo Learn is here. So, sort of give an idea. This is going to dox my full name, but sure, fuck it. That's my name. Don't wear it out. An example would be SQL. Will it bring me to SQL? Open course. Open course. Initializing. Basically, we'll take you through all of this. You can do... Go into this. I'll probably go into this. It'll give you questions. It'll sort of give you an idea of some of the things. You can put those in, and it'll basically, what I would suggest definitely with this is when you're using this tool, take a lot of notes, especially how things work out, write a lot of notes, and then be able to refer over to them, especially when it comes to second year. For some of you first years or some of you second years that are currently doing the SQL stuff, go through this entire thing. That thing probably, this Solo Learn probably takes a solid, probably 6 or 7 hours. But go through it, write everything down, sort of figure it out, and then sort of try hit your labs. It'll help for the most part, but I'd also, of course, would also say don't just use that as your only tool. I definitely suggest there's some YouTube channels out there that I don't remember the name of, but I would put in SQL learn how the fuck, and it gave me like a 5-hour thing. Not specifically that query, but close enough. But I know, definitely suggest this is a tool. Along with that, I would also suggest Code Academy. However, the only thing with Code Academy is that it does lie behind a paywall, I think about 10 quid. I used Code Academy yonks ago when it was free. I believe it was free, or maybe it was something else, something similar. But I used Code Academy when it was somewhat free, and now it's not. So I'm not giving my money to anybody besides the bar trade. Whenever the fuck that opens again. Somebody should be tailoring how many F words I say. Flamingo, that's another one. With that as well, I would definitely suggest Immersion Labs. I don't have access to Immersion Labs, but I've seen a lot of people use Immersion Labs, and it's a handy tool that any student can use. I think you believe you sign up with your student email or something, or you can prove student thing. I don't know. Ask somebody else. I'm scared. But basically, what I've seen from the background is it goes you through a lot of attacks and how to teaches you about those attacks. Basically, brilliant lab system. However, I've just had not some personal experience. I've just heard a lot of good words about it, so I felt like I should put in. Oh God, what's that? I'm afraid. I heard a ping, and if the pings, okay. I have to check that now. Please don't tell me the thing broke down. That's an announcement thing. Just talk is about to kick off. Okay. Hopefully nothing bad happened and we're all groovy. But besides that, I'd also suggest Feedly. It's just a tool that I use, something that was suggested to me when I did a course a long time ago. Basically, it's not exactly a tool thing. What it basically does, it's news. It's basically, you know how there's articles out there and there's too many of them and you want to just be like, what the hell is going on? Basically what Feedly does is you put in what you want to see basically, and it just gives you the top 5 results, and you can see more. You mark as red, because I'm not going to read those, and it'll give you more. It'll basically just give you what is related to cybersecurity so you don't get overwhelmed by all the news, and it'll just be there straight up. Personally, I use that as as soon as I open my browser, the first thing that comes was Feedly, Try Hack Me, and Pornhub. Anyway, moving swiftly on, I hope you like my little drawing in the corner. For Capture the Flag, basically what Capture the Flag is, for anybody who doesn't know, is basically events that are run by cybersecurity people that exist. It's basically, it acts as if you got to it has challenges, and basically you solve these challenges, and hey ho, you get the challenges, you've learned something, and then hopefully you win, and they give you a pat on the back and don't give you money. One of the suggestions I would make, there's a lot of suggestions, there's a lot of them online. These are just a short kind of overview of a few that I'm seeing, and I might as well just say I've noticed somebody just left, but I have a feeling it's because I just said the cloud is just somebody else's computer, and somebody got offended because it is, and if you try to argue with this, you can get fucked. That's another F word. First one I'd suggest is Over the Wire. Over the Wire is a brilliant tool. However, you need to know how to use a little bit of the Kali and being able to use OpenVPN sort of connecting to it. So having a little bit of technical knowledge is definitely grateful in this sort of thing. I'll just sort of give you a quick run through. I'm not going to connect to the thing because I don't have my Kali box open and I don't want to. Oh, I almost forgot. Every time you finish one of these things, you get a lovely old certificate at the end, but I haven't connected the certificate to anything. So also Code Academy. I actually have an account. Try Pro for free. What do you know? You can actually do it, but I only went so far because I don't care. Immersion Labs. Oh, there we go. I was wrong with the paywall thing. It was giving me, when I was signing in, it gave me a paywall thing, and that's just sort of a red flag altogether, especially if you're going to get something free from Solo Learning, YouTube and all that. Code Academy wants you to fucking pay. Get fucked. Basically, it's set up like a war games kind of thing. There's many different levels. There's Bandit, which I believe is a lot of SQL stuff. That's brilliant for beginners. Definitely suggest going in there, just trying to solve as much as you can. It focuses a lot on Linux sort of stuff. A lot of commands, how to string commands together, and basically just getting access to the flag. The flags are hitting all over the system. Basically, 100% I would suggest if you know how to just figure out how to connect an OpenVPN, figure out how to, VPN, figure out how to use. You'll be taught it. You'll be taught how to use VMs, OpenVPN, and Kali, and basically, as soon as you get that going, first thing you do, I'd suggest, is just getting into that sort of solve the first few levels and just keep hitting at it. And there should be there's a good few. I think it goes up to like 29. There's a few of them at the end that are just not there. But one of the most important things I'd say is don't panic and don't give up, especially for that, because it can get hard. Then we have like stuff that's like crypto is Krypton, and basically just a massive amount of them that I definitely suggest taking a look at. Try to hit against the head, seeing what the best you can do, and always keep coming back to it because she's difficult, but you'll get it eventually. That's the most important thing. Besides that, would definitely be Pico CTF. Pico CTF is definitely one thing I would suggest, and Mark Cummins suggests, and everybody fucking suggests, especially for easy people. We're not allowed to talk about past relationships here. Pico CTF is basically a very easy CTF for beginners. It's kind of aimed towards like kids, but just because it's aimed towards kids does not mean it's a bad thing. Pico CTF they usually host it every year. There's a CTF Live. Where did I even open Pico CTF? I am opening Pico CTF. Look at me, father. I am opening Pico CTF. It's a cyber competition that's run every single year. However, they always leave their past challenges up. I am not logging in, but they always leave their past challenges up. Definitely something I definitely suggest looking at. Everybody's leaving. I don't care. CTF Live is another thing. It's hosted by Pentest Labs, I believe. It's not Pentest Labs. It's someone. Someone exists. Definitely something to look in. CTF Live is more of a code sort of, or like a kind of like an actual engagement sort of thing. Kind of a little bit like Hack the Box, but less it. Definitely just a lot easier. It's like the easier version of Hack the Box, but without getting your hand held. So try the difficulty level of Try Hack Me but it's ran the same way as Hack the Box, but not to the same extent. Basically a good old tool, but it's all web browser based, so you don't need to open up your own VM. It's basically just you can use it within there. There's some pay features, but you can easily just set it up with that, and away you go. There's nothing to, and I might be thinking of it might be the other system. Pen Testing Academy is the paid one. That's it. And that's like lessons at the wazoo, which is definitely a thing I suggest looking at. But like CTF Live, definitely a brilliant thing to look at as well. Neverland CTF aimed at students. Same thing as Pico CTF. It's a very easy sort of thing, definitely for beginners. 0 days, I have to mention because I will get my degree taken away from me if I don't. It's a yearly ran CTF run by our own Mark Cummins and Mark Lane and Paddy, who helps, but he just helps. But he's a good lad, so you know yourself. Basically, a physical CTF that's run usually when the world isn't ending every year. Definitely suggest looking into with that as well. When you're in third year, I would suggest joining 0 days because you get credit for it. Because we got credit for it, and I didn't fail, and I'm here, so lastly, it's just random online CTFs. There are CTFs randomly throughout the year, especially accompanying a lot of conferences that go on. So try join them. That'll sort of get you the whole idea. CTFs are basically just there being your practical knowledge being put to use in a different way in comparison to websites like Hack the Box. Very easy thing to use, or a very important step, I believe. It's not the most. You can survive without it, but I would definitely suggest it as a thing if it's your sort of thing. Because if you're into that sort of gaming aspect, definitely 100% suggest. The next page that I have is just a little bit of virtual machine stuff. So the first thing I'd say, Kali or Parrot OS or Ubuntu or Arch, who cares? The most important thing is that it works for you and you can actually do something with it and not just sort of stare at it like Temple OS. Although it has its uses. Ask Moshi DM, he'll get a use out of it. Basically, you'll be taught about all this stuff, so I'm not going to go too much into it because I trust the lads and they'll know what to do. A lot of VMs I would suggest with this sort of stuff would be Metasploitable. And Metasploitable is probably the first sort of VM you'll look at third year, probably with the Hacker Society as well. But usually you just sort of look at, when I only looked at the networking sort of stuff when it came to it. But there's a lot more in there, especially the web stuff. Fucking scared the fuck out of me. That join. I had a heart attack. It was like, my heart just joined the chat. Also de-ice 100, yeah, both de-ices. That's something you'll see in third year. I just wanted to put it in. For web-based stuff, I definitely suggest Security Shepherd. You've also got your damn vulnerable web app and your I don't know how to say that, but it's a word. Both of those are available on Metasploitable, which is a thing I learned very late on, which is very bad, but you know yourself. So you don't even have to download anything extra. If you have Metasploitable, you can run them from that, and that is just one very, for me, very important tip because it took me a very long time. So also you can download OWASP Juice Shop, and you can also just Google vulnerable boxes on the internet. Don't hack anybody, download them, and then run them. Don't do it illegal, or else me and Dean gets the bat. But also with that, there's also a lot of VMs on VulnHub. And I just sort of want to give you a basic sort of idea, even though this is not against the rule I just said. VulnHub just sort of give you an idea how there's so many boxes. There's a lot of easy ones, there's a lot of difficult ones. It basically just goes from I would definitely suggest Googling first off, what would be the best boxes to look at? Because I'm not going to help you here. I'm not your mammy, and I don't hold your hand. But like, just sort of take a look at it if you want to get some more real world experience and just sort of being free flowing. However, because it's an actual VM, it will take a damn long time to download. But you know yourself. But with this, I'd also say there's also Juice Shop. This is of course a rent thing. It's known to be vulnerable, and you can actually play with this a little bit. But when I was saying with the hacking thing, don't go a bit too deep on the hacking thing because she still is illegal. So, but like, you know, an example would be, I'll log out of this because it immediately logged me into what I wanted to do, if it even logs me out. So log in, what's it? Or 1 equals 1. It's not going to work. Watch. It's going to, is that it? No, it's not. But hey ho, we'll try. And the best thing you can do in life is you can. Yeah, so log me in as, don't say that. Yeah, log me in as admin every time. Basically. Brilliant tool to use, but I definitely suggest downloading and putting it in your own machine. Another hint for fourth year, you're going to be looking at web vulnerable apps. I use this to go through, and I did a pretty decent at it, like grade-wise, so definitely a good thing to look at. Plus, it's just fun. You know, I would suggest if you're looking into web hacking, just download this. Get yourself a sort of the PDF of sort of how to run through. Go nuts with it, learn things, figure it out. The most important thing you can do is taking these things apart. Don't be afraid to look at a walkthrough, especially. Very big thing. Because in the beginning, I was afraid to look at a walkthrough. And I would say, get it. Just one of the best things you can do. Get the walkthrough, get the thing, go at it, figure it out, learn it. That is like one of the golden nuggets. A lot of people are scared to just sort of do that stuff. I mean, a lot of people go like, oh, I don't want to do the walkthrough. Do the walkthrough. It'll get it in your head. Also, eat your vegetables. I'm a prick. Right. So, start off as well. There's also, or another bit as well. There's a lot of books out there that can kind of help. 1 sec, apologies. Apologies about that. That was my aunt. She sounded very sad. So me hanging up on her was great crack. That's going to be great at the Christmas party. Where was I? Good books. Good example would be my first book I would suggest is, besides a notepad and this and that. It's right there. It's in there. Why don't I prepare my books? Because I'm a twat. Is Linux for Hackers. It's one of the first books as I got. The books is I got. Basically, just it'll teach you a lot of the hacking stuff. It goes through, well, especially with Linux sort of stuff. It goes through like gives you sort of an idea of how the directories work, and then it brings you through like to abusing services, file naming systems, bash scripting. Brilliant book. Another thing, which is something I originally got that I was actually suggested to when I started this course originally by Cyber Viking himself in the Hacker Society, is 2 very important books, which is the Blue Team Field Manual and the Red Team Field Manual. I'm not trying that one as well. This one's cheaper, but like get both. Basically, it contains a lot of just a lot of commands for both Windows and Linux, and if it's Linux, it's Mac, I suppose. Basically, it's just a handy go-to guide that you'll need. When I first started and I got these 2, I looked through them and I hadn't the fuck. But now that I look through them, I can see things like, yeah, no, that's a good thing to have. I'll know, because I can even see, like, even doing the stuff like the CTF sort of stuff. Having this by your side and be ready to just open it up and be ready to figure out what it is possibly the best thing you can have. You can write it out, but I would definitely suggest having something like this along with you as well. Plus, it already has the stuff there, so you don't have to spend all day writing and then, like, you end up, like, dropping the paper in the bathtub or something, you know, yourself. Happens, you know. You're out of the last, you pour it on it, you're like, oh no, you could just buy another one. Just going to go through the books here. The Foundations of Information Security. It's a definitely brilliant book. It's a lot of high sort of level sort of stuff. I use it for sort of learning about compliance, regulation, and law. That sounds fun. Google hacking, which is dorking. Block ciphers, all that sort of stuff. It gives you a basic overview. Originally, it was suggested to me by Paddy, who was here yesterday, and he didn't say it today, but it's a brilliant book, and I just want to sort of recommend it there. I'm going to be putting all this stuff out as well. Especially it's going to be in the recording, so you'll be able to look there. Another one, Steganography by Mick Hegarty, because I'm trying to keep my degree here, and it's actually a pretty good book. It's very handy, especially in third year when you have to do a steganography report. And if you quote his book, he smiles and he gives you 2 marks. Do not tell him I said that. It's actually, honestly, it's a good book. It's a really good paper as well. Another one for social engineering, because there's going to be a lot of social engineering, especially if you're going red team, is this book, especially. Paddy recommended it as well, but I've got a physical copy and I have a camera, so I get to do it better. Basically, but social engineering, there's a lot of red team stuff in here, but I see Paddy said there's a lot of blue team stuff. And plus, it's just interesting to read how it works, and he talks about like actual engagements. Absolutely fantastic book. With that, one of my best friends, who's a genius in this industry, I'd be sitting on him and he'll just turn around and says like, "I've done a bad," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, I fished the entire company that I'm doing my engagement for," and I'm like, "Oh God." But it's his job, so it's legal. It's fine. It's fine. Don't do it. But it's Breaking into Information Security by Andy Gill. It's a brilliant book that's available online. I'll be showing a few links in a second. He goes through all the basic sort of stuff that you'll need sort of in the beginning to basically learn the ropes. To get the physical version, you have to email him. Send him 10 quid. He's going to spend that on drink, because I know him too well. Basically, it goes through like operating system, core fundamentals, virtualization, programming, infrastructure, web application testing, importance of reporting, social and people skills, pen testing, bug bountying, hacking your career path, and further reading resources. In the book, and I've seen an updated version, and it's way past this at the moment, but I like physical versions because it's cool. Also, fun fact, the background's from a BDSM thing. He told me that in person. Now you know, and you'll never forget. This is a book. It's just about these ciphers, but the only reason I'm including this is because there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to be showing you, like the Humble Indie bundle, which you can get a crap ton of books from, and just putting it onto a Kindle and just reading through that. Or you can go into Book Depository, a thing I'll be showing you a sec, or Amazon. But there's nothing wrong with going into a bookshop and just buying a book. I got this book. I found this randomly in a thrift shop in town. You know, that shopping centre that's in the middle of town. One that's near the south side. It looks like it's in a really fancy building. There was a building off to the side of that. Walked into it, just found this book randomly sitting in the middle. Like, I have to get this. So bought it. It goes through like all the cipher sort of stuff. I don't know if you're able to find it again. You could probably find it online, but like, just absolutely fantastic book. So basically what I'm saying is, if you find it, you'll find books out there just randomly in the wild when the world exists again. And if you see something, pick it up and bring it home, or well, but don't steal it, but buy it. Please don't steal it. Support the economy. This is more of an advanced book, which is just Hacking the Art of Exploitation. I haven't looked through it myself, but I'm just suggesting it for people who are a little bit more in. This goes through stuff like port binding shellcode, RST hacking, basically a lot of advanced stuff that scares me. But one day when I'm probably 86, I'll be able to look at this and be like, this is what I was supposed to be doing the entire time, but all I did was drink in pints and have crack. And then, of course, another important book that will actually be really handy in your degree is, it doesn't have to be Micros, but it's a Security Plus book. This is going to be a handy thing, especially when it comes to all the the theory stuff, because it goes through all your theory, especially, let me see an example, risk management, phase control, trust models, cryptography attacks. Very important things to have just in general, because there's a lot of certificates out there which will probably be covered in a talk by somebody else, or maybe me if I come back, if I decide, I'll do another talk or so. It's a very important thing just to have, and I've ran out of books. Anyway, oh no. I buy books sometimes. There's a lot on my wish list. But just sort of to give you an idea, because we're going to go back over to the computer, which is for you is still there, but for me it's here. Time distortion. So, an example, we'll just hop on to what I would use, Book Depository. That's where I buy most of my books, because the books are usually cheaper than any other places I would get, and the delivery's free. So it's fantastic resource, and it goes in related stuff you'd view. So like even stuff I mentioned there, because I went up and got them all and put them in the basket. because I'm not doing a wish list because I'm not logging in. I don't want you to see what my login is. Um, but we already know you're logged into everything else. Yeah, but like there's one thing I want to keep secret. Would you like to buy me password? It's you probably have 13% of it. Or Dean does. Yeah, so like what even like 8 quid, 14 quid, 22, 26, cheap enough and delivery's free. So it's a good enough service. Plus, if I put in something like I don't know, security plus brings up just loads of different versions that you can go through whatever versions. I'd always suggest looking at actual reviews on other websites because you know yourself. With that, of course, as I was saying, the Humble Indie Bundle, which is your creme de la creme of stuff to get, because the Humble Indie Bundle is all the proceeds go to charity, and they'll always have something related to cybersecurity. So I was checking it earlier, but the thing they have today, or for the next few weeks, because it always constantly changes, is AWS, Azure, Google, and cloud security. So if anybody's into cloud security, I know a few people are, so I'm not actually going to make fun of them. That's the sort of the books you kind of look toward. There's also STEM, and there's also like game stuff. I'd be surprised if you didn't hear about this website. I'm just saying it for the person who hasn't, because there's always one. The one is usually me. But like, you know, cheap enough sort of guides, and like you can buy hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of books, and it all goes to charity, and you can feel good about yourself. And when you're in bed, snuggled up, you can be like, I gave money to charity. I'm a great lad. That was a basket thing, but I already looked into that. Just for the breaking for information security, because I have to promote Andy, or else he'll find out where I live, and he already knows where I live. Please send help. You can get it here for 5 quid if you email him or hit him on Twitter. He'll give it to you for 10 quid and he'll deliver it to you. But the most important thing you should always know about this is that money is either going to fuel for his car or points. I think there was another thing he told me, but I wasn't listening at the time because I was pissed at the time. Besides that, as I was saying, if you can't find the book on Book Depository, because sometimes it just doesn't have the book, like this isn't there, or like some other books are. Well, actually, that book is only alerting on whatever the other thing is, which is leanpubs.com. Google this specifically if you're looking for Breaking in Information Security by Andy Gill. So you can't really see that, but you know. This is the best place to go, the next best place to go. You can mostly find everything there. But bar that, there's a lot of other shops I haven't even mentioned about that is brilliant to getting like books and sort of all that sort of stuff. So be sure to go there as well. You know, everybody's interrupting me. How dare you? I'm not joining the army. One of the most, but yeah, look around. Be wary of websites as well. Always go to the PayPal exception because sometimes it's just shit. But I love how the person just joined and all the first thing to hear is shit. Yeah, there's many websites out there for books, and just use your best ones. But personally, the ones I suggest is definitely Book Depository, although it will take a little bit of a while. Moving swiftly on, one major thing about cybersecurity, especially in the industry in general, is that the community aspect, because there's no point of just sitting and doodling away in the job all the time without actually being involved in the community, because the community is what involves us all together and makes us strong. That's a communist thing, probably. I've been a little bit active in the community. I know a few people and all that sort of stuff. I have friends. I swear I'm not a loner. But also, it was saying this because they can help you get jobs. They can help you like directly toward things. Community is probably the best asset you'll ever have in this industry. One of the first places I'd always suggest is Twitter, although it's a bleeding dumpster fire and it should be annihilated from the earth. This is a good place to find some interesting things and keep up to date with everybody. I'm not going to put too many people to suggest because like I don't want to, because you're out here and you got to figure it out your own sort of way. But the only people I'm going to put straight up is, of course, your local hacker society, Cyber Dublin, which is the college's, TU Dublin's security thing. Yeah, security course thing. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Cyber Ireland, which is the company that basically is like the big cyber people in Ireland. It's like a collaboration of all. I swear I didn't do this for an assignment. It's all a collaboration of bunch of cybersecurity people to form an organization to represent cybersecurity people. There's also Cyber Women Ireland, which is within that group that represents cyber women, unlike cyber men who want to assimilate you. Cyber women just want to assimilate you because they have the same rights. Besides that, the two people, I'll actually, three people, I'll give it a third one, I just didn't put it. Well, anybody who's in the society, so Graham, all your society friends, follow them, Cyber Viking, UK Daniel Carr, because he's the nicest man in InfoSec and I will die on that hill, and Scott McGreedy, because he's the cool, funniest guy in InfoSec and I'll die on that hill. Well, actually, he's under me. Yeah, I'm the funniest. With that as well, there's also Discord. Discord is like the thing we're bloody using now, is the thing I would suggest. There's a lot of different servers out there. There's your local Hacker Sock one, like the one you're currently sitting in. If you want the link to that one, you're already here. Why would you need it? There's also the Many Hats Club, where I mentioned that I am a moderator of. There's Laptop Hacking Coffee, which is I'm not really much in, but like it's still a decent place. I don't really have much thing to say about it for political reasons. There's Trusted Sec. There's Zephyr Sec, which is run by my mate Zephyr Fish, and I'm also a moderator there. There's Minorities in Tech and Security, which is for anybody who is... The name's on the tin. There's Searchlight, which is an OSINT-based one, which is definitely for people who be more into OSINT sort of stuff. There's Cyber Mentor, which is connected to his YouTube channel and all that sort of stuff because he's looking for a following and wants you to follow him. There's John Hammond's Discord. There's also stuff like Hack the Buck Discord. There's a Try Hack Me Discord. There's also CTF Newbies, which is something I found only recently that is honestly just a fantastic resource for the simple fact that they have a ton of just CTF stuff. They have a bunch of websites sitting in there, and it's basically where a lot of my research kind of came into, especially when it came to the CTF stuff, because they just have, not gazillions, but like a good amount of just websites already suggested there, and it's a good place to start. You should do your own research. That's just a very good spot. Bar that, there's also Slack, which is like Discord, but I don't use Slack, so I'm not going to talk much about it. Well, I use it too a bit, but like I stick mostly to Discord. But it's basically the same gist. I just won't be able to tell you much. I do know the London's Women Security group use it. It's just a friend told me that, but I don't much about it. BeerCon uses it. Realistically, Discord is more crack. There's also a lot of blogs out there. There's like the Security Queens, which is basically three women who do security stuff and write blogs, and a great crack. There is blog ZephyrSec, which is my friend Zephyr, because he will find me if I don't mention him. There's Cyber Viking, because hope you're doing good, Viking. There's also random Medium accounts out there, although I wouldn't, or Medium.com websites out there, and even though I wouldn't suggest most of them, because most of them are pure dog shite, I suggest that from the simple fact that if you're trying to find a walkthrough for something, don't always try a walkthrough for something, if you know what I mean, but like use a walkthrough definitely in the beginning if you want to sort of learn that sort of stuff. A lot of them are going to be on Medium. There's going to be just a random amount of blogs out there that is just basically use resources that you can use, but always look for the best resource. Be ready to sort of siphon through a lot of different resources and be ready to use the best one, or the one that you find is best. And of course, just because I remembered it now, because I always remember it at the last bloody moment, I believe it's this one. It is. So, just Twitter, sort of just, I'm not giving it the run through of Twitter. There's basically just a ploy to me to say like, hey, I know I'm doing a Hacker Sock talk right now, but have I mentioned that I'm doing a BeerCon talk next week? So, you should definitely look into that, especially going to tickets about that. This is a ploy. Sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Basically, going to Eventbrite, sort of look it up, sort of buy tickets. I'm on about... Fuck, I don't even know my time schedule. I'm on eventually. Look at the thing on the Beer Farmers website. This was the ploy. As I was saying, the Security Queens, they do a lot of blogs, especially on security awareness and sort of stuff. There's ZeroSec. As I was saying, he's done the zero login thing. Brilliant work from him. There's the Cyber Viking, who is a Fed, and does a lot of research on his own. It's definitely something I definitely suggest from personal belief. But with that, of course, go on your own merry way with that sort of stuff. Look into a lot of blogs that are sort of more tailored to you. If you have mates that are in the industry, look towards their blog. Like I've only really suggested mates of mine for blogs wise, because a little bit of exposure helps everybody. Always help your mates. Support your mates in their decisions, especially when it's artistic. So definitely find your best blogs out there. Find stuff that you like. There's a bazillion and one blogs out there, and just finding the ones that you like the best and want to read the best is definitely the one I'd suggest the most. Did I mention anything? Did I miss anything? No. My next one, favorite one. This one will make people cry. There's conferences. conferences are one of the best things in cybersecurity because it's when everybody joins together, has lovely old talks, and gets absolutely fucking smashed at the end. I fucking love the smash part. I fucking love points and the crack. So, specifically in that order. But they're split up into sort of two things at the moment, considering how the climate is. There's physical conferences, which is something we will not see for the rest of this year, and hopefully we'll see next year. Hope I didn't jinx it. But there's also virtual conferences, which is happening a lot now. Two of them actually just happened as of recently, being Isolation Con and Con Int, which will be stuff that you can find on YouTube, which I will be then showing you in a few minutes. There's also BeerCon that I happily just talked about 5 seconds ago, and you should totally go to because I'm there. And you'll love me, won't you? I won't be this much crack, though, because I'm being a professional in that, because maybe people will give me a job. Job, yeah, sure, go on. Talking about physical conferences, my first one the first and favorite one will always be B-Sides, because they're everywhere. Everywhere. There is in Dublin, London, Manchester, Liverpool, Belfast, Scotland, Cardiff, Athens, Paris, Amsterdam, DC. Basically, where a city exists, there's a B-Sides, but except not Galway or Cork, because one, Cork doesn't exist, and Galway would be a brilliant spot, but for some reason it's not there. Thinking about it, maybe there should be a B-Sides to Galway. That'd be class. That's an idea. There's also in the UK, because we are so close to the UK, you basically shouldn't ever write that off because it's basically a hop over there. There is, from what Mike can gather, there's Securite, which is based out in Dundee, I believe, and Abertay, by the Abertay Society, which when I was told about it, I was like, Abertay, Securite, see what you did there. There's also 44Con, except 44Con's a little bit pricey. I think it's about 100 quid. There's G3C, which is a con I don't really know much about, but somebody suggested to it. There's also, I believe, InfoSec, which is a conference that happens at the same time as B-Sides London. It's more of a professional sort of conference, but me and Cyber Viking went, and I didn't have a ticket, so he printed off my, I think I have it here. He printed off his own one again, and I pretended to be him for the rest of the day. That was great crack. There's also Hack in the Box security conference out in Amsterdam. We didn't get to go to it, but as a society, but we know about it, and it's a good crack. It's in Amsterdam, so it's in Amsterdam. So it's in Amsterdam. It's in Amsterdam. It's in Amsterdam. I don't have to tell you anything else. It's in Amsterdam. Besides that, the US. I don't know much about the US because it scares me, and I only admit I don't. Being there, and I'm still screaming. But all I know is from what I can gather, because I didn't really look into the American stuff because we're too far away, and it's only going to be really useful to people that decide to move to the States. And if you're living in the States, you can figure it out on yourself. Figure it out. There's Black Hat and there's DEF CON, although DEF CON's probably cancelled. The pandemic or not, it's probably still cancelled. I have websites open for it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Besides that, there's many a podcast. I would definitely suggest listening to podcasts because it brings you into the culture of cybersecurity. There's the Many Hats Club podcast, which is basically they interview people in the industry, have a bit of crack at them, let them just sort of tell stories of their time in the industry. Honestly, it's lovely. It's run by Stu, and one of them I got to do a really sexy introduction that gave everybody that wasn't really that sexy, but I thought it was sexy, and I will die on that hill. There's Darknet Diaries, which is actually honestly one of my favorite podcasts of all time, because it's basically just listening to horror stories on the other side of the web. There's like stuff about espionage and people who do like actual hacking, or no, actual pen test like gone wrong, or like pen test being done. There's one of the lads, Jason Street, where he's I'll just say the Jason Street one is very funny because something funny happens in it, which is also alluded to in the Many Hats Club podcast as well. There's also the Naked Podcast. I'll admit, the Naked Podcast, Smashing Security, was suggested to me. I haven't even listened to him yet, but it's from a trusted source, and they're very well known, so I definitely suggest it. So Smashing Security talks about cybercrime, hacking, and other online privacy. If you know anything better, and if you think I'm wrong, I don't care. Naked Podcast is unfortunately not about naked people, which is really disappointing. But it looks at like cybersecurity incidents. There's also WouijaCast, hosted by my friend Zephyrfish. Swear to God, if I mention him one more time, he'll fucking appear out my window. Basically, ran by two Scottish lads who talk pure shite with guests. Great crack. What else could you want in a pure fucking like midway to December I hears? Yeah, I'm from Scotland. My name's Andy, and I like to heck. Don't send them that. On to another important note. He's gonna message me in 10 minutes like, Sean, did you just fucking there's a Sand Stormcast, which is actually honestly a great thing in the morning. It's basically a 5 to 10 minute sort of introduction, like goes through all the daily updates of what's happening in cybersecurity industry, like in the industry at the moment, what's sort of like what bad things have happened while you were asleep or during the day, basically. It's basically just the news, but just sort of gets you up to date like that, sort of. So when you walk into that, it's like a brief, like right in the morning. So when you walk in that door for your job, you'll know what the hell has happened, more or less. There's also the human factor, which is basically about human behavior, social engineering, business, security, and just honestly about life. It's run by Jenny Radcliffe, who's a Scouser, or what's it? I'm from Liverpool. Yeah. But yeah, basically run by a Scouser. She's great crack, lovely woman, and great social engineer. I think there's a Mini Hats Club podcast about her. I definitely suggest listening to. But I know there's websites, so I'm going to have to look at them now. I didn't do that. I wasn't supposed to do that. Was not. That's what I was going to do, real quick, because I'm improvising this entire thing. I didn't practice. I'm on no sleep. But the cons, like ISOCon and ConInt, they're all available on YouTube. The ISOCon stuff was on the Mini Hats Club. You'll find talks from Cyber Viking. I think Alan the Blank did a talk in there as well. There's also the Beer Farmers. There's Viking. There he is and all. I'm not clicking on it because he's not getting my fucking ad revenue. There's also ConInt, which happened during the weekend. I definitely suggest looking through that, especially if you're into OSINT sort of stuff. If you're interested, this is more related to sort of what Dean did, or what Dean was talking, or Cyber Viking was talking about, Docs. That's definitely a con I'd look into if you're very interested in it. Besides that, there's also from other conferences that have happened, very physical ones you can look up. You can see like talks from them as well. So it'll always be available out there, even if you don't go to the conference. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, honestly, it's just a really good thing to look into. Like going into YouTube and just looking at all these old conferences, because you'll find like brilliant talks out there. And I bet you, like when you're talking to people and they'll talk about like, oh, a particular thing, they will go like, oh, there's a particular talk from this conference, you know? So it's just a really handy thing to look at, because you'll find some brilliant talks out there related to the industry. And then maybe one day you can turn around and say, hey, at B-Sides, I was listening to this B-Sides Dublin, and this lad, McLabraid, came on. His talk was pure shite. Hilarious lad, though. But, yeah, what's this? Oh, look, I do have that. Look at me, I was listening. Okay, that's malware. I don't know what this is. I was figuring out how to do something and forgot to close it. My bad. That's embarrassing. Oh my god. Right, where was I? Right. Continuing on. I want to say some extra notes. So, Cyber Viking, if you're still here, can you unmute and say hello?
Hello.
How are you now? Right, so this is just a quick thing I kind of want to add at the end, because it's a very important thing I kind of want to say. When it comes to this is going to be like the old guys talking to the young kids here throughout the college. When it comes to this degree, when it comes to just college in general, I know a lot of people just say, like, especially your parents will go like, you need A's and B's and just excel as much as you can. But honestly, at the end of the day, just do your best. It's hard, and there's been many moments, like, and Dean will agree, there's been many moments we both thought about giving up, especially in fourth year, like with a thesis.
Ew.
Yeah. This is one of the most difficult things you'll probably do in this degree, and it's probably going to be one of the things that's going to be like, it'll hold over your head for a little while, but like when you get it done, you'll be proud, and basically just do your best, and you'll get through it. We all believe in you. We're all here for each other, and look out for each other, especially. Just be good to each other. Is there anything else you want to add, Dean?
No, it's pretty much it. Enjoy it while you can. Like, college doesn't last forever. Like, while you're in college, really enjoy it, because you are going to make literally friends for life out of the place. You're going to enjoy it and just have that fun. Just try have the experience. Go to like different events. Go to Freshers Week. When it's back open, obviously next year probably. Go to Freshers Week. Go to the parties. Go to the events. Go to the meetups. Just have fun. Enjoy it while you can, because it doesn't last forever. It's not all stress. Like, I was panicking in college thinking, okay, it's going to be 9 to 5 every single day for the next 4 years. And I get there and it's like, oh, you've like 3 classes this week. Do it every day for the rest of the week. I'm like, what? So there's always free time to do amazing stuff. I made some amazing friends, like, that I had to the end of days. And it's really worth just enjoying the experience and going with it. It does get stressful, but you know what? Having them friends with you, like, makes it so much easier. Like, there's times I wouldn't have got through without Sean. I think, as you say, the same. Like, there's a lot we've had to like bounce off each other a lot of times for a lot of things. But that's what this is all about. It's all about that experience and just becoming better. You will improve. Like, the improvement I've seen in people in college over the years has been insane. I've seen people go in and they're the shyest people in the world, and after a couple of months, they're like the loudest person in the group, jumping around, dancing, having a great time. And that's just the way it is. It's amazing that way.
Definitely. And like what Cyber Vikings kind of like nailing everything on the head, especially just have fun in college. Don't think of it as just you should always be studying. However, do be studying, but just do your best. Make sure you give yourself some time to have a bit of the crack. At the end of the day, you're there to learn, but you're also there to have a bit of crack. You know, you're there to make friends and to make connections, and just sort of fought to just sort of learn, like to just sort of. It's a part of your life, basically. It's going to be a good part of your life, and if you spend the 4 years just studying, you won't really enjoy it as much, and it'll start feeling like you didn't really appreciate it. But on that as well, for my first 3-4 years, I didn't really care, and I repeated 3 times. And in saying that, I can definitely tell as the one who didn't care to the one who did care. Definitely put the effort in. Like, put the effort in, but like, do your best. Like, put in the effort in, but don't expect, like, if you don't try and push for an A if you can't get to the A, you know? Be fine with that B, be fine with that C. Hell, if it comes to it, be fine with the D. Hey! But I didn't think that would true. Just basically do your best. And that's all anybody ever wants from you. And drink pints.
I think it's important
Oh,
to say there as well. Like, it's not the end of the world. It
yeah.
really is not the end of the world. If you don't do bad, if you don't do great, so what? Like, it's not the end of the world.
As long as you do your best. And most importantly, respect the other students in the course. Uh, don't be a prick. Um,
Get to know your
and
lecturers.
yeah, get on with your lecturers. Mark
Yeah.
Lane, Mark Cummins, and Stephen O'Shaughnessy and Mick Hegarty. They're absolutely lovely. They're human beings. They're not like teachers you had in school if you're coming out from right from school. They're not like the teachers you used to have. They're normal human beings who are great crack. And Mark Lane is absolutely great crack. He loves an L point and all. But yeah, just treat them as human beings and they'll treat you as human beings. You gonna add anything, Dean?
No, I think it's you hit the
Mm,
nail on the head. Like, the lecturers are the most amazing people, no matter
mm,
what country you're in with them as well. They're
yeah.
great people, and it's very worth getting used to getting known them because they are the stepping stone once you leave college to the career as well. Because remember, companies are going to come back and ask the lecturers like, "Oh, what's this person like? How's that person acting?" You know, they want to know these things as well. And having that connection with your lecturer is very important as well, especially when it comes down to knowledge levels, like learning things. Like, I don't know how many times, like, for example, pen testing. I didn't do any programming or developing before I got to the secure communications module. I was panicking, like, and I remember like one specific class sitting there, and Mark Lane come over, like, Mark Cummins come over and just explained the basics to me on the spot. Literally on the spot, was like, just explain the basics to me and made everything make sense to me. And they're that kind of way. All the lecturers seem to be that way in the security department. Anyway, definitely haven't seen the other departments, but like in the security department, like Stephen White, for example, if you have him in computer infrastructure, you'll have the best fun ever. That guy's hilarious. He's the best guy to learn from. And even though you make you laugh 24/7, you'll still learn loads from him.
Yeah, like definitely 100% agree. Just treat them as humans. And like, they're smart. They're very smart people. So they'll lead you on the right path, definitely. You know, there was another thing I was going to add, but I don't know if it really relates to this college. It more relates to where my brother's seeing in UCD, and I saw a bit in first year. If you're just coming out of secondary school, it can be a bit scary coming out of secondary school and going right into college. Um, but no, there's a lot of people in there like you. There's a lot of people who are scared right now. There's a lot of people who are like going to be a bit, especially when you start going into that building. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, and just be social. Try your best to be social. Just sort of try to talk to people. Be open. The best suggestion I can ever be, especially just in life, is to be open and be willing to talk to people. And Also, be willing to accept that some people are assholes and annoying, and you should get away from them. But like, that's just sort of life experience in a nutshell. Yeah, just try to be social and try to sort of be friends with, I guess, nearly everybody would be the best suggestion I would make in life. Do you want to add anything, Dean, or am I just talking shite?
No, you're on the point.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
You got on point there.
Trying to think. Would there be anything else that could really be added to this?
Oh yeah, carry hair bobbin pins when you're back in college.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, hide bobby
yeah,
pins in your clothing.
yeah. Hide bobby pins. Fuck, I forgot about that.
I think we've trained that other hacker sock, the old hacker sock, or the new hacker sock well enough to know that you're going to get handcuffed literally anywhere you go. So carry bobby pins.
Actually, just think of it now because we're talking more hacker sock stuff. I'm talking about the community stuff. The community stuff is great because it helps you sort of find new knowledge and sort of get you to people to help. But always remember that you can also find help within your local hacker sock. The people are here for a reason. All of us want to learn and all of us want to do new things. And they're like a great place to learn. It's a great place to ask questions is here. That's what it's for, you know. Mark Lane and Mark Cummins are on here, and sometimes they'll appear and sometimes they'll give you a hand, or sometimes they'll just tell you that your thesis is shite and you should try again. But sorry, dude. Sorry, love you, man. I gave you enough shout outs. I can be mean to you now. Follow Cyber Viking on Twitter, or this Cyber Viking on Twitter. But yeah, no. Be sure to like put questions in here and just try help each other because it is your society after all. And we're just going to be overlooming and watching like you know on the Lion King when like what's his name dies and like the kids looking up and they're in the clouds. Me and Dean are in the clouds because we died.
Yes. No, but always think forward. Like hacker sock. Think of what like you'd see in American college movies. It's like that big. Not sorority, not fraternity. It's like just a whole gender neutral collective. Let's go with that one. That's a word I learned in college. That was a weird word for me. So go with that one, right? Think of it like that. Think of it the way the American is. You have the connections. Past members are there. Like my first ever job in InfoSec was straight on a red team. Literally, first week of college, I got a job on a red team, and it was because there was a past HackerSoc member who needed help with his master's thesis, and I gave him a hand, and he's seen because of that. It just straight up, he gave me the job. He was like, I got you a job if you want it. I'm like, awesome. I jumped in. HackerSoc, we take care of ourselves. We take care of each other as well. And it'll always be that way. Like, I can't think of many people that were HackerSoc when I joined college first. To this day, if they see me, they will stop to have a conversation. I might not even know them that well. They'll add me on LinkedIn. They'll send me messages like, hey, what's up? How's things going? You know? Like, Jay Dunn, for example. I started college here. Jay Dunn was finishing. That guy to this day is still a really close friend of mine. He's halfway around the world right now, pen testing some gaming company somewhere, but we still talk. And we always will. And HackerSoc will always be there. We'll always look out for each other as well.
And just thinking about that as well, actually, like, don't be afraid of the society. I definitely say, you know, like try to integrate. Just definitely sort of try and mingle with the lads, you know, well, the lads and the ladies, but you know, the lads are sort of gender neutral now because it's easier. Because I decided how the English language works because, just mingle with the people. Everybody has always sort of new information. Everybody will always have a new perspective that you can learn from them. So, keep this society definitely close. It's a very important study. It's a society very close to me and Dean's heart. Dean has put more time into it than I have, and I've put a little bit of time in, but it's still. And even though you've got like we fully believe in like the new sort of like team, we have full wishes in them, and you know we'll always be there to help until we get jobs, and then you can fuck off, or we're getting married and you can fuck off, or we're not in the country and you can fuck off, or we're on the piss and you can fuck off. Relatively, like every 25 minutes per day, you can talk to us. But at the end of the day, though, realistically, we're here. We'll like you believe in your like society leaders. They know what they're doing, and we believe in them as well. So you know, especially Graham. Like we take the piss out of him, but we see a lot of good in him. He's a good lad. Please put your cock away. Please stop masturbating, Graham. The compliments, we get it, compliments. But honestly, we do he's a very good lad and he's a smart lad, and so is Tiernan, and you're in good hands here in the society. So, yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Anything from you, Dean?
No, that covers it, I think.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, me and Dean will always be around in the society, so be sure to help, or we'll be sure to ask questions if you want. Be sure to ask everybody else if you want. Don't ping in the middle of the night. Especially fucking you, Owen. Don't ping me. Fucking swear. Fuck's sake.
Just reach out to us. We're always around.
Yeah.
That's I say every Hackersock member, even past and present, are always around. They're always somewhere. Nearly every single one of them has on their LinkedIn their Hackersock. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's always that. It's like a bond in a way that you'll have for a lifetime after this. You'll always remember a Hackersock. You always remember the times you had a Hackersock, and you'll always be a point like you'd go to the bar and you'd be in your pen testing team, your security team, and they'd be talking like really weird stuff they did in college, and you were like, "Oh, really? Okay, well, you did that cool stuff. We broke into a supercomputer one time. We were having sandwiches in D block." Why? Because we're Hackersock, and that's what we do.
There's a bit of crack. Nothing to do. You know yourself.
Make the stories, enjoy the stories, because that's what this is about. It's about enjoying it and having a good time as well.
Yeah. That just reminded me of the 0 Days video of us singing rap tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. There's a point I was going to add, but I can't remember what it is. Points of class. I guess that really covers it, doesn't it? Yeah. Right. So, merci beaucoup. And questions.
Hop in and just say something from a perspective of a first year, last year.
One sec.
All right. Sorry.
Fuck it, that's your name now. Go on.
All right. I was just gonna say from a perspective of last year, when I started with my friends, and I know I said this earlier, but like it's very intimidating coming into a society of people that have people like Dean, have people like Sean who are like seem so far away from what you are when you're there, and like you think, oh God, I'm never gonna be that good. Forget about all that crap, because the whole point is what Sean and Dean are saying is like we are all just this big community, this big family of people. We all get along. We don't care about your standing in the industry as much. It's just we're all friends. We're all here to learn, you know. And don't be afraid to talk to people like John, Dean, me, and Graham. I mean, I don't know a whole lot. I'm not an expert in anything. I just like to mess around with programming. That's basically it. There's nothing special about me. I just had a love for the society and was asked multiple times to go for this position. And that's how I ended up here.
You.
It's not like I'm not like I'm something amazing, you know? And there's many more people in the society who are much better at cybersecurity than I am. But just don't be afraid to make that leap and talk to the higher up guys who know their stuff, you know? It's the best way to learn. That's all I want to say.
And just to add on to that, actually, I'm not changing it from Tiernan. With that as well, like you might think, like, oh, I'll never get to these guys, how good these guys are. Dean will probably disagree with me, even though I know deep down in his heart he believes in the same thing. But at the same time, we are as confused as you are.
Like, most of the time. It's less confusing as you go through the years.
I think
we start figuring it out slowly, but at the same time, though, we're still that person who started joining that society many years ago. We're still that person who's like, hey, we honestly have no idea what's going on, and we're a little bit afraid, but we're just trying our best. And that's one of the best things you can like.
I think the also
try your best.
That can be made is that everybody can learn from everybody else.
Yes.
For instance, there's things where I would check where Dean wouldn't, you know, or where you wouldn't, or for instance, people check different places for stuff like CTFs, and you can all learn from each other.
Exactly. Just kind of like what the idea of this whole basically talk was. This is just the resources I have, or I've been told or taught, or this or that, or this or that. But that's not definitive. That's just the stuff that I've used and I think are great. And you can turn around and say, this is pure dog shit, I already know all this. Or you can look at this and be like, hey, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that, you know? The main thing I like to believe that even though you've heard it talk a bazillion times, everybody will always have something new to tell you.
Yeah.
Unless they're pissed out of their skull and it just keeps going like, I am not part of the IRA. Then they're just stew. That's an in-joke. Yeah, does anybody else want to add anything like Graham or anything? Or is he still fixing his PC? Or is he fallen onto the floor and he can't get up?
At his age, probably.
I'm here.
All right, is there anything to add you'd like to tell to the society? Because I'm opening this up to an experience thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm next seems to be.
What? No.
Don't be afraid. Like,
Yeah.
I joined the college and I wasn't even going to join Hackersock to begin with. And I was dragged along kicking and screaming with no kind of choice. And I loved it. Because I got into it and I enjoyed it. And I met the people, I spoke, I asked the questions, and I joined the clubs, went to the socials, I did all the fun stuff. And that's what made this site even better for me. It wasn't just turning up to talks and listening to the talks, that was good. But it's when you engage with the talks is what makes it like a society from a 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 type society. It's when you can go into a room with Dean and Sean and then someone will just be like, you know what? I want to look up cameras in the middle of New York and we're gonna there's a homeless guy holding up a sign saying shit, and it's like I'm laughing about it, or Dean turning around and me throwing my wallet at him and hitting him with a full force out of
memorizing your credit card.
I'm then memorizing my debit and credit card and then having a laugh about it. Like,
or do you remember the time? Just sorry to interrupt. Do you remember the time when there was the Hackersock CPF when I was so into it? My friend Lee tried to keep calling me, and I got so pissed off and trying to call. I answered the phone to fuck off and threw my phone and almost hit Dean, but I went right between the chair and smashed.
Yeah, it broke the screen on his phone.
If you could see that, you could still fucking broken.
we all enjoy it in our own little way, and
my brother just messaged me. Sorry for yelling outside your door. Go on, sorry.
Like, we each have our own little way of enjoying this. Mine was simply just getting involved once I actually got into it, and then I enjoyed it even more. I thought I knew everything coming into college. I was miles behind when I joined, but I still knew enough to scrape me by and to kind of give me a kind of head start. But I didn't know anywhere near the amount I should have. I had some teachers who helped me back before I joined, and that was it. But it doesn't mean you had to know anything joining. Most people don't, and most people do very, very well. Most people get better grades than I do because I'm a lazy bastard.
Same.
I forget that I need to put in work.
Same.
Don't worry. Like, in the end, you'll get there. You'll get to that stage where you've kind of just turned around and said, "Oh well, I need to stop sitting on my arse and not doing stuff and get involved." And the moment you get involved and put your head and you run head forward, yeah, you'll enjoy it. Get a new lease on life.
There's actually something I'm pretentious I want to say, but because when he said like the whole like you'll know that you'll know nothing, it reminded me of a quote that I love because I played Civilization 4 once and I'm a pretentious prick. It's a quote from Socrates, which is basically just I am the oracle knew that I was the wisest of all the Greeks, for I of all Greeks knew that I knew nothing, and that's probably one of the most important things. Like at the end of the day, we really don't know anything in this industry. Like, the best thing you can ever do in this industry is specialized, because this industry is so broad and so massive that you'll never learn it all. So figure out what your thing is. But take your time, of course. Don't just decide, like, but try everything and figure out what you like. Like, me and Graham like completely different things. Like, Graham likes pen testing and I like having a life. No, I'm kidding. But just figuring out what's best for you and what you sort of want to proceed in this industry is probably the best advice you will ever give.
Just enjoy it. Like, simple as that. Just enjoy it. Like, we each have our own level of, like, we all want to enjoy it in our own crazy little way. And ironically enough, my crazy little way of enjoying it was just getting stuck in.
Oui.
And that was, that was mainly thanks to Sean and Dean and Alan. And even the I could kind of say the lads in my year group at the time, but it wouldn't be true because I think I dragged them along more than they dragged me along after the first time. Once I got into it, and then I was like, yeah, no, I enjoy this. Because I think the first conversation I had with Dean was, what's your name? After 3 weeks of chatting with me.
You know, funny enough, actually, I was trying to think of it the other day, and I have no memory of how me and Dean became friends in third year.
I have no idea how
I do.
How?
I gave you software.
No, that was in second year. But like, we didn't really become friends until third year. I think we just, hey, I remember you. You were the guy with the software, and then we became mates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's
because you were in the
specific.
first Hacker Sock meeting.
True. Let me think. Is there any other? Does anybody else have anything else to say out of all the people, or?
Other than we're all nerds. Legitimately, everyone
basically.
here is a nerd. If you've got like a weird board game or card game
I'm
to
an
play,
alcoholic.
bring it to D Block. I'm sure someone else will play it
Ah,
as well. Like I don't know how many times we've gone down and you've been playing some weird new board game.
Yeah.
Magic
Like
or
random
Secret
people
Hitler
coming and joining.
Yeah.
7.5, which is a reference to at the end of last year.
7.5. I don't know what the reference is.
Put the
but I
mic
can
on, but okay.
say
It
it.
was a really
They
good
know
one.
they are.
It's essentially 21s, but Spanish version.
Okay. Oh, really? The more you know, the less you have to learn.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was fun to play.
There we go. And you put your
Sorry.
mic on.
All right.
I was reading. I was too busy, being heard by the comment of you can talk to the officers, but let's exclude most of the officers and only talk about the big ones.
Well, let the other officers join. I literally just went from like Dean,
No,
and then
no,
Kieran joined, and then Graham joined. So
no,
I
no,
didn't really
no.
think opposite.
That's not what I meant.
No, the point I made of don't be afraid to talk to us, and then I mentioned you, Dean, Graham, and me, and no one else.
Yeah.
I meant us as in a collective.
Yeah. Talk to the group. Andrea is lovely, and she's the best out of all of them, and she's
also terrifying.
Yeah, she's terrifying. Yes. She's also my daughter, so if you hurt her, she's also my daughter, so if you hurt her, good luck, buddy.
We're all your kids.
Yeah, sure, yeah. They're all my kids.
That literally
That's a
started
sentence
with
I
me
never
and you.
thought I'd say.
Yeah, I know, but then I've extended it because, like, you're now the big brother. And Dean's your uncle.
Grant.
I mean, that's great.
I've actually started a whole family thing.
You have.
Yeah. Right, anyway. I'm going to cut all these lovely old things because we could be talking here all second day, and I'm just going to open it up to basically thank you. And do you have any questions? Because I'm here and I have nothing better to do.
Well, I gotta kill the stream because bye.
Yeah, go on.